welcome to the Standard of Truth podcast, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. This video today is a little different. I wanted to sit and I wanted to address the culture in light of this current election season, and I wanted to pose to my audience and anyone else who is interested in listening a question. The question is, would the social media icon known as Kevin Samuels, if he were alive today, would he be with her meaning Kamala Harris? I've sat long and hard and I thought about this, and it wasn't hard to come to this conclusion. But in my opinion, I am arguing that Kevin Samuels would absolutely not be with her. Now, I did not know Kevin Samuels personally, never got a chance to meet him. Never crossed his path, even though we both were living in the same city at the same time. But I watched Kevin's content. And I watched it with a critical eye and an objective point of view. And here are just some of the things that, like him or hate him, that none of us can ever deny. Now, Kevin, in my opinion, gave men a voice. And he affirmed that it was okay to be a man. And in a world where this matriarchal squalor rules and reigns, Kevin's voice and his opinions, it broke the darn internet. And nothing has been the same since. Vivica Fox is still out here at 60, still bitter and full of Botox, and Jamal Bryant and TD Jakes, they both out here still lying and finessing their church members for selfish gain. But despite all of that, the impact and influence of Kevin Samuels, the media sensation, is still being felt today. Kevin, he resurrected masculinity in a way that not too many people before him were able to do. And even though that there were a few things that I disagreed with concerning Kevin's worldview, one thing is for sure. Kevin had an impact on the culture that is yet to be duplicated. Many say, oh, his tone. I say, who cares? His attitude. We're going to put that aside. The substance of what Kevin was saying was absolutely true. And it caused men, like him or hate him, it caused men who were sick and tired of being sick and tired to reclaim their masculinity, to take charge of their lives and to start leading again. And to that, I say, that is a wonderful thing. So as I examine this current election cycle, and as I think about the Democratic contender, Kamala Harris, I asked myself, I said, would Kevin be on board with the current narrative? And would we have seen a video from him talking about why he is with her? Well, in my opinion, Kevin Samuels would absolutely not be with her. He would never run behind the likes of a Kamala Harris, and you would not have been able to pay him enough money to bow the knee to that orangutan. Oh, no, sir. That probably wasn't going to happen. See, Kevin was skilled. He could spot an orangutan and identify him on sight. He could sniff him out from a mile away. And he would have placed Kamala right there on the spectrum in all of her VP faux black girl magician glory. He would have put her right on the orangutan spectrum, alongside the likes of Jada Pinkett Smith and Tia Mowry and Ebony Williams and company. So first of all, if you understood the core of Kevin's message, it was all about masculine exceptionalism. And he talked a lot about restoring the family, particularly black families. Kevin is famous for quoting that 50% of black men are single and childless, and that 80% of all divorces are filed, unfortunately, by women. Kevin demonstrated with the facts that women, not men, were the chief ones wrecking their homes and causing all kinds of destruction and mayhem as a result of their illogical and selfish decisions. Now, in addition to Kevin actively working to see healthy black families come together, he was also a realist. And Kevin recognized that most black women, particularly in America, they've adopted modern feminist culture and they were not marriageable anyway. So therefore, Kevin was fully on board in supporting men to find a suitable helpmate, regardless of ethnicity, and just, sir, do whatever you need to do to go and build you a family. Now, I know, as a Black woman, allegedly, that is supposed to make me feel some sort of kind of way, but the truth be told, I actually don't find anything wrong with that in particular, because that kind of advice just makes sense to me as a wife. I am a wife. I am married. I have 2 boys. And although they are in their teens, the chances of them finding a young woman who looks like them and is just half the woman that their mama is, that is slim to none. The culture that we live in right now, it does not produce wives who then become mothers. No, it produces matriarchal squalor that's full of chaos and rebellion and promiscuity and hot girl summers. My boys don't want a girl who is into Meg Thee Stallion. They can't even stand Cardi B, and they definitely do not like Beyonce. They don't listen to music that promotes death and sexual promiscuity and destruction. So since they're not into that, the odds, unfortunately, are not in their favor. And that's okay, because thankfully, neither me nor their father teaches them that ethnicity is a litmus test whereby you measure a person's suitability anyway. My boys are taught to choose Christ over color, then examine character above constructs, and then place love of country over these stupid categories. And then after that, choose whoever you love and the woman who respects you and makes you happy. So now another detail that we need to consider to answer the question of whether or not Kevin would be with her is to acknowledge the fact that Kevin was a capitalist. He absolutely believed in a free market economy. And he understood the power of leveraging your influence. He understood the power of healthy competition. And he knew that if you could provide the market with a product or a service that added value to the marketplace, then you should be compensated based on that value. And no ceiling cap could ever limit how much money you are allowed to make. Kevin didn't believe in the gospel of free. No. The amount of time Kevin spent mentoring and teaching men on the value of hard work so that they are in a position to protect and provide, there is no way that he would co-sign onto Kamala's communistic economic agenda that includes price controls and socialized healthcare. No, my friends, Kevin always would talk about how you need to be able to compete. Men who speak using that kind of language, they aren't even in the same room with women like Kamala Harris. Kevin would never advocate for financial ruin like that. Working by the sweat of your brow, whether in a boardroom, a courtroom, or a restroom, to Kevin, work was honorable. And he didn't promote the idea of equity or diversity on the basis of a symbol. If you want it, you better show your work, because whining is for suckers. And the last thing women respect is a man who is a sucker. Now, another clue that I believe convinced me that Kevin would absolutely not be with Kamala is the fact that Kevin spent a lot of time talking to and engaging with actual people, especially women. Toward the last 24 months of Kevin's life, Kevin spent hours talking to women on camera, forcing them to do the math and to make the math until it couldn't be math no more. Now, y'all know the drill. How many children do you want? What city do you want to live in? Do you want to have to pay significant bills once you are married? All of these questions were asked of random women of all stripes and shapes and colors. And these questions were designed to crystallize the reality of what women were really asking for in a man. And so when we think about how so many women received a startling wake-up call, realizing that their math didn't add up, their weight didn't equate to the kind of outcomes they were demanding, and their attitudes, to top it all off, disqualified them out the gate. So what did we see? We saw a whole lot of cognitive dissonance and a lot of pissed off females calling to have Kevin Samuels canceled because the truth was too much like right. And it hurt. I can hear it now, that slap on his soundboard. I can hear it now, just slapping him with all kinds of facts. So if you think that a man who managed to confront hundreds, if not thousands of women on his platform with the math, forcing them to confront the severity of their reality and holding them accountable for their decisions, what makes you think that he would co-sign and support Kamala Harris, who doesn't have a clue how to grow an economy or rebuild one? This man spent countless hours talking to women who didn't have a clue about how much things cost and how they would live and take care of themselves during and beyond retirement. Just like Kamala, most women who appeared on Kevin's show were clueless and just thought you just pay for it because they've been shielded from accountability. The government has always been there as the safety net to take care of them, and they refused to take any wise consultative advice, on top of the fact that they didn't have a man in their lives to begin with, or a real man, I should say. So it's women. It's women who are going into thousands and thousands of dollars of debt, going to school to get useless degrees, thinking that they're going to make a six-figure income with a degree in women's studies or dance. And just like the delusion of so many women, Kamala and her delusions of grandeur is trying to sell to the American people that price control and a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains is a smart economic plan. There is absolutely no way that men who are able to think and analyze data, facts, statistics, and information like Kevin Samuels just wake up one day and throw caution to the wind, turn off their brains, and then say, I'm with her. And especially they don't say, well, I'm with her because she's black. No, Kevin wouldn't even care that Pocahontas is out here faking the funk as an Indian trying to pass for black. No, her ethnicity would be irrelevant to him. Why is that? Because he would reject her on the basis of what she represents. And what is that, you might ask? More matriarchal squalor that will do nothing more than contribute to more generations of bastards raising bastards without the influence, wisdom, and guidance of a masculine man leading, providing, and protecting his family, because you can't have families without men in their rightful place. So Kevin would reject Kamala Harris because she's a delusional feminist that has demonstrated through her actions and her policies that she doesn't respect men. The last thing this country needs is a melanated or kind of melanated misandrist who slept her way to the top, trying to usurp authority over an entire nation, leading us down to the pits of hell to burn under the embers of oppressive economics and a sea of woke policies that do nothing to strengthen the family. So no, I do not believe Kevin Samuels would be with her. And if you are a man who represents masculine exceptionalism and purposeful patriarchy, you wouldn't be with her either. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below. And until next time, grace and peace.